Well, what do you know? This thing actually still does work. So good to be back. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Yeah, it's been a hell of a month for me. So I appreciate you guys kind of hanging with me tonight a little bit. So as most of you guys know, I kind of battled with the old COVID there for a while, and yeah, that was needless to say a little rough. I don't think I would have wanted to mess with that early on, back when it was the OG kind of COVID. So, but anyway, enough of that. So, yeah, it's almost a little nerve wracking not doing this thing for, I think, almost, man, what has it been? 4 or 5, maybe 4 or 5 months. So, it's been a long time. It was a little nerve wracking with everything that was going on. Like a lot of people with the COVID stuff, you lose your kind of sense of taste and smell and all of that, of which I did. Fortunately, the good part was, for me, it only lasted about 10 days. I could still taste. I couldn't smell very well. I could taste, but the problem was everything was bitter and off-putting, and just had these really funky profiles and stuff to them. So I didn't even try to monkey around with anything doing whiskey. I hadn't done any reviews. Just a couple days ago was the first time I had recorded an actual review in, man, probably, yeah, 4 or 5 weeks, right before I got COVID at the kind of, it was kind of the end of August, beginning of September, I believe is when it was. So basically all of September, I did nothing with whiskey for the most part. The tail end I did when we ended up going down to Starlight for doing a barrel pick there. And that was really the first time I kind of retested or challenged the old palate. So anyway, so I'm glad to be back. I appreciate everybody kind of sticking with me. I know the absence wasn't the greatest. I'd like to be able to put out a few more videos than I was able to. Fortunately, I had a couple of things banked a little bit, but I'm kind of getting back at it. Just did the review the other day of the newest or new-ish release from Sagamore. This is their PX Sherry finish rye whiskey, which for everybody I tell about Sagamore is stop sleeping on this distillery. The amount of stuff that they're doing, the great things they're doing, incredible stuff. So, if you haven't checked out Sagamore yet, definitely do so. These picks right here, these are our Woodinville for the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. These are our Barrel Kings that we just released. I think most or some all have those bottles by now or will be getting them. I know there was a little bit of a snafu with some of the shipping and everything, but that's all being kind of addressed, and Jared's done a great job with that. So before I get too far, let me say hi. And guys, again, thank you so much for being here and hanging out and doing all that. I greatly appreciate all of you guys for joining tonight, kind of just sticking with me on this stuff. So what's up, Nate? Blind Squirrel, how's it going, buddy? The franchise, Gary Franchi, Top Dog, good to see you, bud. Roy, good to see you. Here's my man, Marty. Good to see you, brother. Looks like I think you're on a little bit of vacation somewhere in like South Carolina or something. So how's it going, Matt? Good to see you, bud. My man, JG, you'll probably be interested in what Jason and I've got going on here pretty soon. So my man, Kelsey Dime. Tonight I'll be going through a few samples. Speaking of Kelsey was nice enough to send me a sample of the new Wild Turkey 12-year 101 proof. So that was that Japanese release this year. So really excited to kind of get into that one a little bit. So there's my man, Sergey. How's it going, brother? Cam, how's it going, buddy? My fourth or fifth favorite Cam. So we appreciate you joining tonight, bud. Top Dog. And I saw that you guys were enjoying some of the Buzzards Roost. So I'm glad you kind of found them. They're doing some pretty cool things. So Tim Gorgeous. Timmy, how's it going, brother? Hey, Mark, good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. I already said JG. What's up, Polly P? Good to see you, bud. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining. Appreciate it, bud. The Rye guy. How's it going, sir? Appreciate you jumping in there. What else we got? Johnny, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Blind Squirrel, as always. Dunny, good to see you. Yes, cheers, HOCK. Thanks, brother. Thomas, good to see you, bud. Glad you could jump in tonight. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. What's up, TK? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, it's man, I'll tell you, it's been a hell of a month. So anyway, all right. So there he is, Dougie. How's it going, brother? What else we got? What's up, brother? How are you? Good to see you as always. That's Boomer, if anybody didn't know. Hey, Justin, good to see you, brother. Appreciate it. Cheers, Bambino Barrel. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're liking it. So I think most everybody is kind of getting those or have most of them. So there's the boss. How you doing, Katie? Good to see you as always. Hopefully Ethan is doing well as well. What else we got here? DJ, hopefully, man, I saw everything out there on the East Coast, and I'll separate this obviously from Florida, but I saw even what you guys were dealing with out there in the Carolinas was some nasty stuff. So hopefully you and the family are safe from all that. That Ian was a one nasty storm, I'll tell you that. So what's up, Dano? Good to see you, buddy. Greg D, good to see you. There he is. There's the Turkmeister. Good to see you, brother. Okay, what else we got here? I think I'm a little bit. Thanks, Benny. I appreciate that. It's been a long month, and I'm glad to be back doing this a little bit. So, just so you guys know, maybe some saw the link below. Actually, Jason will be jumping on a little bit later on at some point. Don't know when, but we're gonna actually do a kind of a live barrel pick, impromptu, so to speak. That we've been sitting on a couple samples for a little while. And I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but we got lucky and got some pretty, what I think is going to end up being pretty special rye. So this is all from Hughes Brothers, which is sourced MGP, but it's all 10 plus year MGP rye. So not a lot of that stuff floating around in today's market. So we're super excited to maybe dive into some of those and see if we can find a special bottle for the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. So what else we got? Yeah, Florida. And to anybody who what's up? There's my former golf partner right there. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you, bud. How's it going, Eric? And I also have a sample that Eric sent me, which is the Sherwood. I haven't been able to do anything with that one yet, but that's another rye that was part of that heritage through. I thought it was maybe Sagamore. Someone did that. So, but thanks, bud. Appreciate you sending me that as well. So, thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it. So yeah. So to anybody in Florida, I mean, that was just mass devastation. Hopefully, people are somewhat rebounding, kind of starting to slowly rebuild a little bit, because that was absolutely devastating what happened to that Florida, on that west coast of Florida. I mean, that was just absolute devastation. And I think it was just, again, a lot of Floridians who want to kind of ride some of these things out, who are used to kind of dealing with hurricanes. I think a lot of people severely underestimated what that hurricane was going to do, clearly. So I know there's lots of different parts. My sister's down in Florida, but she's more over on the eastern side of Florida. So they got hit pretty good. I know Roy got hit pretty good. A lot of rain, high winds for more north and the eastern part of Florida. Versus like the Fort Myers area, Tampa, all of that kind of stuff. So, so anyway, our thoughts and prayers to anybody in Florida or family that was kind of hit and by that storm. Absolutely massive devastation there. So hopefully everybody is okay. So All right. So what do I have in my glass right now? And you guys drop a little, drop something in the comment there as to what you guys are sipping on. Right now, I got a little bit of my Barrel King. This is the goat. Have to remain somewhat sober to try to do the rye barrel pick. And, frankly, during that time, well, really for a month almost, I basically had nothing to drink, only because of, obviously, for anybody who's had, COVID, you know exactly how it feels, but that lingering cough that comes with it is absolutely the worst. And really, until the last maybe few days, even, I've had that darn cough that was just ridiculous and was just irritating as heck. So I'm finally somewhat feeling like I'm kind of back to normal. I know some people might argue what normal is, of course, but it feels good to be back doing this stuff. So Boomer, my man, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes. Rich Cannon, aka Boomer, Wisconsin, another fellow Wisconsinite. Happy to be back. Can't wait for the new picks. So, yep, fellow Mash and Journey Whiskey Club member right there. Thanks, Boomer. Appreciate that, bud. What do you got here, Kelsey? The goat is in my glass, having to nurse it. I'm below halfway. It's really easy to kind of sip on that. And that's kind of, again, credit to, again, the barrels that Jared is getting there at Barrel King. And I'm really happy that we were able to hook up with him. And this is just the beginning of it, guys. So for anybody, again, part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, or not, these are a couple of our most recent bottles that went to the club. And we're going to be working on some other things, some different stuff, possibly some finished things. Lot of stuff going on, coming in down the pipeline. So we're really sad. We're really happy to be doing stuff with them. So a lot of stuff going on. Jack Daniel's bottles just got shipped. Some people, I think, have already started receiving those. So as you can see, lots of good stuff going on. So what else we have here? Yeah, Adam. So, that's like we've talked about before. That's one of the issues. And that's why we're trying to push for getting as many, barrels as we can for things. And we're working on that. I know it's a little bit of an issue, and we appreciate a lot of you guys kind of sticking with us throughout all of it. The club has really grown an awful lot, over the course of the last, 6 months, year. It's just one of those things where, we can't get that many, and again, the allocated stuff, as most of you know, is already difficult to get. So being able to secure as many of those barrels as possible is difficult. We got lucky and got another barrel of the Jack Daniels, which gave us about, I think, 360, and those were gone within, well, I think it got into tier 2, and by the time it got, mostly into tier 2, I think it was all gone. I don't know if it actually got into tier 3 or not, but that's one of the things that we've also talked about in trying to get some of these other bottles, maybe not all of the highly allocated stuff, to try to spread, and get you guys really good whiskeys. Like we've got some of the Woodinville stuff coming. We'll have more Barrel King. Hopefully this time, in talking with Jared, hopefully we'll be able to secure, more of those, and kind of get you guys those things. What else we have? We just did some more stuff not long ago down at Starlight. So we've got some of those things going. So constantly stuff going on with all of those. We fully understand. We're trying to do as much as we can for that. So Adam, appreciate you sticking with us, bud. We're trying. We tried with that, and maybe even going forward, that's always one thing with having 2 bottle releases. We know a lot of people want, multiple of it. And we try to encourage people just to get one, unless we can put an actual, bottle limit on there. It's kind of tough when it comes to that. But anyway, we try. One thing I think we've realized is there is no perfect way of doing anything, and there is no perfect example. So, see, Robbie D did his part. He only bought one. So thanks, bud. So you helped another person buy two, probably, unfortunately. So yeah, so there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be more of those coming, and we'll work with Jared over there and getting more of those. Maybe even doing our own blend, which would allow us to get some bigger barrels. We might also, if you guys are interested, we might also be able to do some stuff with Rare Character, but it may be that that newer release, the Fortuna, I believe, or Fortuna, whatever it's called. We might be able to get some of those if you guys are interested in that release. That again is an old brand that's been reintroduced again to the market. So that's an option. What else we have coming? We also have, again, some of the Yellowstone, which will be cool. We've got, again, our Rebel and Ezra. That's coming. I'm sure I'm missing. This is coming. The Woodenvilles are coming soon. So a lot of stuff. So and we also have our 4-gate picks that are coming too. So those are, again, we were one of 3 or 4 groups that got the 10-year toasted bourbon, MGP. So you guys, part of that will be getting that stuff. Then we have our toasted rye coming off of last year, which was a 8 or 9 year, and I think we've got another. Must have been 8, and I think this year is our 9-year toasted rye. So anybody who got last year's will be able to compare this year. Yeah, Greg says, so Blue Note, we're working on doing Blue Note. Originally, there was a chance we were going to be doing that tonight, but Josh and Aaron from Jesus, this is probably like COVID brain, Stuff and Whiskey, Jesus. They're going to be assisting, considering they're from Tennessee. So it's them, myself, Jason, doing that pick. We weren't able to get a lot of samples of those, and sometimes that prevents us from doing a lot of things. Knob Creek Rye we've got that we're doing. So I don't want to make this all about the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, but a lot of good things coming. So yeah, sorry, Robert. It is one of those things. We know it's the supply and demand thing that we deal with, and we know they come and go really, really quickly. And again, like I said, we're always trying to get different things, different bottles, more stuff that we can kind of spread out to everybody, so that everyone's got a shot at that. So yeah, it was cool that we got it went from basically 180 to double that. So it was right around, I think, 360 bottles that we were able to get. So, all right, rather than me blabber all the time, I'd love to know what you guys, what you've been sipping on, what's new, anything else going on. It's good to kind of catch up and see some of the names that I'm used to seeing and stuff. And then hopefully, actually, this is one of the things that I was talking with Jason about. Hopefully, either this coming spring and or summer, we'll do probably a nice Patreon kind of meetup. We're considering either Kentucky and or also doing something out at Sagamore Distillery in just basically Baltimore, Maryland, and that way we can get a lot of people together, have some good food, some good whiskey, all of that stuff. So hopefully that's maybe something of interest, not just patrons. Anybody who will be open to all of that. We want this thing to be something where we're meeting with everybody who supports us, people we see in the lives, from week to week. So it's one of the things we really want to do, and then be able to maybe share a distillery that people have either not been to or not overly familiar with their whiskey. And we'll do that with probably with Sagamore, and then we'll kind of maybe try to figure out something to do down in Kentucky. So, but yeah, really. So Thomas, like I said before, we've got those picks coming real soon. Hopefully within a month, maybe not even a month. There was a little bit of a delay with the some of the labels and stuff. So yeah, the Barrel Kings I think turned out really good. And again, we're going to be working on some more of that. That's one thing we're always trying to do, as many fun, interesting, different things. Like we did the cigar collaboration with Barrel King. We got a combo cigars and whiskey that we all, from the guys at Cigar Club and ourselves, ended up choosing. So we're looking forward to that. It's a lot of good things. So anyway, so yeah, let me kind of dive into a couple samples. Right now I've got the Barrel King, but I think I'm going to set that one aside. I want to dive into the sample that Kelsey sent me. This was that Wild Turkey 12, kind of that Japanese release. And I've had it sitting in the glass now for how long we've been on? 20 minutes. So I just poured that. So I let it open up a little bit. So we'll see what the difference is on this. I think the only difference, maybe outside of some non-chill filtering, which I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if Kelsey's in here or not, but again, this is a Japanese only, or an international release, I should say, but it's the Wild Turkey 12. So we know it's minimum of 12-year-old juice in there. So let's see what this one says. So, oh man, who let this guy in there? I'll give you a pass, but this isn't. Last time I checked, this isn't. Okay, there you go. You kind of mixed in a little bit of whiskey, but typically this isn't my tequila journey. So next time, get your shit together, there, bud. Just kidding. Yeah, I didn't say. I didn't think. I don't know if this is a non-chill fill. I doubt that they're. I mean, I'm sure they probably do, but I don't know. So let's see what we've got. So this is getting up, in age a little bit for some of the turkey. I mean, I know they had the Russell's 13, so we're kind of in some of those lines there, which I appreciate. The only thing is, it's with turkey. There's stuff now with all these kind of special releases and stuff. Man, that stuff is hitting secondary like hard and for some big prices. So, oh man, that's kind of interesting. Boy, that's very different. I mean, I get like a nice, sweet, rich oak on it, but there's also a bit of and this is not something I would say I normally get with turkey, but it's almost, there's almost this like caramel apple on it. And I wouldn't say citrus. I wouldn't say apple is something I get very often on turkey. There's a nice rich like oak component. I don't think it's nearly as oaky maybe as some of the Russells can or will be at times, but nice kind of like cinnamon notes. Yeah, it's a little bit, reminds me a little bit of like fall, kind of a little bit. Yeah, there's some nice kind of vanillas. I mean, it's been sitting out for a little bit. Nice oak, but yeah, I'm getting this like kind of rich caramel apple note on it. Maybe a slight black pepper on that. Is there anybody besides Kelsey in the chat who's had any of this Wild Turkey 12-year, that international release? I'd be interested to kind of hear or see what you guys say about whether or not this is, or kind of maybe what you guys are picking up as well, because yeah, for me, I'm really picking up a little bit of that caramel apple note, which is kind of odd. But maybe what I'll do is kind of give it a little taste, go back to the nose, kind of flip flop on those. That's one thing I don't think, including myself or even some of the guys that do some of the, or ladies that do some of the reviews, is not only nose it but taste it and then go back to the nose. I think all of that kind of still plays into the overall perspective of what it is you're kind of nosing and tasting. So. All right, let's give this a try. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Good to see a lot of you in here. Well, I would say definitely with the age on it, it's definitely kind of rounded out some of the roughness just from some of the regular Wild Turkey 101. Sometimes with just regular Turkey 101, you'll get like a slight ethanol note to it. Maybe, it's kind of a little rough around the edges, I would say. Much more oak on this, but still picking up some of that caramel apple note. So yeah, Darrell, I guess let me know what you think or what you're picking up. Definitely there's some oak influence on it for sure. I think even slight black pepper notes. I think it's more of, in addition to oak, there's also a little bit of a char of a char profile to it. So I forget what the char level is on turkey barrels. I think they only use one char level, but the oak is definitely present in this pour, which I'm a fan of. I like when you get that oak, maybe even some of those leathers. What I'm not a huge fan of a lot of times is when that leads like right away into this kind of off-putting like dryness. That's one thing I'm not a huge fan of, when you get that real kind of dryness that's there. So all right, what do you got, Popham? The 13-year father and son was actually damn good for such a low proof. I think I had that, but when I was at Jason's, I think I tried it, but that was a while ago. So yeah, maybe I'll say maybe even some like lighter dark fruits is starting to kind of come out a little bit for me on this. A little more muted, I'd say, almost like a cooked or stewed kind of dark fruit. I wouldn't say it's like overly fresh or like a super big, bold, heavy dark fruits, but that sweet, rich oak kind of leather is definitely present in it. So, and it's something I enjoy. So, to do a review of after that, but anyway, you guys get the gist of it. So, all right, what's Turkmeister have? So, yeah, so that is something else I forgot to mention. So we are doing one of the single from Found North as well. So that's in the pipeline as well. So we'll be working with them on those things as well. So we got a really nice whiskey finished in a heavy char, new charred oak heavy char barrel. So that's going to be a really, really good one. Actually, I've got some of the samples sitting over there. So, and I think what I'll do is, with all these samples we get from the single barrels, I think I'll probably start doing some like giveaways with those things. So, but all right, we'll give you this one. Still semi. Oh yeah, but it's only like lunchtime by you anyway. So yeah, I can see why you're still working. What time is it here? Oh yeah, it's only 5:30 by you. So good to see you, Adriana. Hey, we got our we got our Knob Creek samples. Unfortunately, it was rye whiskey, so we're holding out to get the bourbon, and we'll totally get you involved in that one. So we're looking forward to eventually doing that. So, but C. Jackson, what's going on? Cheers from Kentucky. Well, cheers back to you from Wisconsin. Good to see you, brother. What else we got? So yeah, so I really like this. I think as it opens up, and again, I think when you start getting into these kind of, quote unquote special releases, some of these whiskeys just need a little bit of time open. Like I'm sure if I let this sit, I'm sure it'll change. Maybe even, oh, it's only 6:30 here. Oh, all right. Well, good for you. That sounds like a heck of a day. That's a pretty awesome day. That beat my day for sure. But yeah, I think with some of these whiskeys, like, something like this, again, even at 101 proof, something that's got a little bit of age, I find that it just needs a little bit of airtime just to kind of round things out a little bit. So that's one thing that I try to do with really most of the whiskeys that I drink is when I pour it, I just let it sit there for about 10 minutes and and just kind of let it kind of open up. So yeah, actually I just talked to Justin today about that. We'll be working on doing another bourbon and a rye. So that's definitely something that's going to be coming. We're looking forward to that again. So let's see. Well, thanks for joining, Tim. Appreciate that, bud. So, all right. Well, I guess the issue with this would be, and always my issue with these whiskeys is the secondary part of it. If you could get this, and again, I don't know what the retail on this is. I guess Kelsey, Darrell, if you guys know what, or anybody know what the MSRP on this is, let me know. I mean, obviously that's going to be far different than what the secondary market will be, which is I'm not a player in that. I feel like I get enough great whiskeys through the barrel picks that we do that I just don't need to do all that, chasing and stuff. And I get some of the guys want to have the reviews of them, and I completely get that. So, but for me, just not practical, and to be honest, not something I'm overly interested in doing. So I'm not a huge fan of paying huge dollars for, a lot of these whiskeys when I get a lot of this great stuff anyway. Because man, the chase, as you guys all are aware of, it gets freaking exhausting. So it's a lot. But all right, so 150-ish, man, is 12-year-old. I mean, and considering what can be in some of the regular Wild Turkey 101s, and I don't have any by me right now. I wish I would have brought some of the regular up just to kind of see. But I guess here's the thing. I mean, I suppose we're in a day and age where we got a 12-year-old, not cask strength, still 101 proof, good proof. Again, difficult to find, of course, for $150. Do you pull the trigger on something like this to get it? I'd say probably, yeah. Like, this is probably in my wheelhouse where I'm probably okay with this at that price. Above that, if this was at or above $200, I mean, I really want at $200, I want cask strength. I want non-chill filtered. The age is good on it, but man, it's a big difference if this thing had like another 15 or 20 proof points on it and it was cask strength. We'd probably be dealing with a whole other beast. And if you could get that stuff at or around that $150 or $200 price point, that'd be a nice Wild Turkey 101 12-year. So there's my man. Speaking of Barrel King, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Glad you could jump in. So for anyone who's not kind of jumped on the train of Barrel King, do yourself a favor, hop on over there. Go check them out. They're doing some pretty cool things, and we're happier than all get out to be working with them and doing other things. So pretty awesome. We enjoy that journey, so to speak. So all right, so let's see. Let me do this one. What else do I have here? So Popham Troy sent me over, which I don't know if I've ever had a Willett purple top before. So I would be trying that, very like open and I guess non-jaded. I don't have that. I mean, I'm not really a Willett chaser or anything like that. I know some of those bottles can get very, very expensive, but it'd be interesting to see what this is. So this is Willett purple top, single barrel. I think this was the single barrel that one of their clubs did. 134 proof, 9 years old, and apparently this is Willett distillate. So if anyone's had anything similar or something like that, let me know your thoughts on Willett, especially the purple tops. And again, this is not the kind of 6-year, this is a 9-year single barrel. So that's probably a pretty special pour right there. So, all right, what's Darrell say? Going going back to this bottle, it has changed a bit. I love the oaky barrel influence. It has got some great sweetness to it. It is. I would say it's very enjoyable. I guess my issue is, again, a little bit of the price point, knowing other things that I have or that I can get. I start to try to like justify certain things in my mind, but I fully get why somebody would probably want this again at that $50 price point, which in today's day and age of kind of high price whiskeys, it's honestly, it's probably in line with what it is. So yeah, 9-year Willett distilled. All right. So, and that's again kind of interesting. I don't think, and Troy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, and maybe there is, but maybe some of the younger stuff, I don't think there's that much of the older like Willett like that around. I think that's a pretty unique and special thing to be able to get. So I'm gonna pour that here in a minute. But Todd, I saw that, or Andy, I'm guessing it's probably Todd, but I saw you guys were doing the Four-Gay Bluegrass trilogy tonight. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. So it was a cool release that Four-Gay did. So I'm glad that glad you guys are going to be doing it. I'll try to tune in. This is unfortunately probably going to run over a little bit because we still have to do our barrel pick of the Hughes Brothers rye. So we're looking forward to that as well. So what's Kelsey got here? So the only one I have is a 7-year-old Kirk. Yeah. Okay. So I know that was some of the Willett stuff, which is purple top juice, and tasted again against 8 and 9-year-old. Or the old Kirk was even better. Okay, interesting. And I've not had any of that. So what do we got here? So the older ones are mostly Heaven Hill distilled and go for way too much. Yeah, that's one of the issues with the Willett stuff anyway, is some of the prices people pay for some of those. Crazy. It's like Buffalo Trace on steroids almost with some of that stuff. So all right, so almost lost that one. So let me finish this here. Actually, let me save that. I might be able to save enough for a review, but yeah, I've heard they're fire too. So I don't think they're overly easy to get. But anyway, so let's do this. Let's try the Willett. I'll kind of nurse this one a little bit, but I think my internet is okay. Am I? Well, maybe it'll come back. Usually my internet will kind of go in and out a little bit. Hopefully, stick with me. Hopefully it'll be okay. So, all right, let's see what we've got here. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate that, Mark. Scotty, welcome back. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Appreciate all the support. Thanks for being in here tonight. I think my Wi-Fi is maybe a little choppy right now. It should self. All right. She probably is. So, oh man, hopefully I'll come here. All right, I think I'm back here. So let's see how this goes. So not getting a blizzard. So all right, let me know if you guys can see me or whatever. So yes, good to go. All right, so the HOCK is back. Yes, and it looks like I've got a little little better signal. So not sure what the hell is going on. So hopefully this stays corrected for a little while. So let me go back to this, get out of here real quick. Wanted to be able to pull this up here. There we go. I think I'm back, and I think I'm back pretty good. Looks like I've got a good signal. You guys can see and hear okay at this point. Yeah, I had to scrape the cheese off the old dish. Damn it, sons of bitches. Feed the squirrels. Yeah, it's not. All right, I don't know who knows. I'm not exactly sure what in the heck's going on, right? I mean, everything should be good, but God only knows. So, man, why is it? Well, usually StreamYard isn't that bad. I'll have to get something figured out. So, I don't know. So hopefully this thing. All right, maybe it's starting to look a little better now. So hopefully that. Yeah, good old AOL. I think I looks like I've got strong signals now. So I'm not really sure what the heck was going on. Maybe the wife's got a bachelor or bachelorette or whatever the hell she's watching, running on multiple devices or something. God only knows. Usually StreamYard's pretty good. So all right, while I've got internet again, let's dive into a little bit of this. Let's dive in a little bit of this Willett Purple Top 9-year single barrel. This coming in pretty hot, 134 proof. So yeah, I don't know about that. So oh boy, it's got this really nice kind of like floral note to it. Actually, nose is not coming across hot, like 134 proof. I don't know if Troy's in here or not, but is this a weeded bourbon at all? It's soft. It's got a little bit of this doughy characteristic to it. Yeah, Duddy. That's probably it. It wasn't my Wi-Fi that was bad. It was all what you guys were drinking. It just made your eyes a little bit blurry. So how dare you guys blame me? Yeah. So well, we got more, Steve. There'll be other stuff coming for the Barrel King, but not weeded, huh? There's an interesting profile that's there to it. There's boy, what is that? What is that? That's interesting. Maybe rather than it being doughy, maybe it's just kind of a soft like pie crust note that I'm getting. Yeah, maybe it's that Cinnabon. Maybe that's what it is. There's a really nice kind of sweet like richness that's there. I could totally see like a donut or something, like a glazed donut. That's maybe what that is. All right, let's give this one a try. So it's a nice nose. Not getting that 134 proof on the nose at all right now. So all right, well there's the heat. Boy, there's like a strong fruit note. And I'm trying to guess what in the world that is. I don't know if that's interesting. It's almost like maybe cherry or something, but man, what is that? It's a, maybe that's a good call. Maybe there's some kind of like plum. There's a confectionery sweetness to it as well. There is a nice oak on it, but man, I'd say this is a very different and unique like profile. If this is just theirs, what I would say is there's a little bit of a like an old kind of like dusty rick house kind of funk to it. Maybe that's where some of that difference is on this one. It's very different and unique. It's unlike anything I've had before, but I think is a little bit of like, the only way I could describe this is as like there's like an earthy component to it. There's something that's, what is that? And maybe it does. Maybe that's partially what it is. There's some sweetness that's there, but it's this old like dusty, like older whiskey kind of note. I don't know what it is or how Willett is getting like that profile there at 9 years old, because that's very, very different and unique for sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's Eric, that's a very good point. Like what is this like close to? I mean, the only thing I can think of is like, man, I don't even know. I was going to say like some kind of scotches where you get these different profiles, obviously due to different, regions and stuff and how different and unique some of those can be. But again, I mean, that's not my wheelhouse, but I've had some where you get something that's very different and unique, but man, my vodka journey. I don't plan on going on that journey anytime, Steve, unfortunately. Once you get that profile, you can pick Willett out almost. Yeah, I mean, I could see, and again, I would say I don't drink a lot of Willett products really at all, to be honest. I mean, not the Johnny Drum, not the what do they have? What are those two kind of main staples that I'm thinking of? Geez, it's been years since I've had, I think, probably anything from Willett. Johnny Drum, I might actually have some downstairs. I'll have to give that a try. But man, that is a funky, unique profile. I would say for a lot of bourbon drinkers, this is probably not something I think a lot of people, Noah's Mill, Justin. I don't know if a lot of people would really appreciate this. I mean, I think with a lot of people who enjoy bourbons, I think they like or tend to enjoy that sweetness, some of that spice, some of the oak. But more often, I think bourbons, people enjoy things that are a little bit more, in line with that bourbon classic, bourbon profile. This is definitely off that kind of profile. So yeah, Rowan's Creek and Noah's Mill. Yeah, thanks, Donnie. Kentucky Pure. Yeah, I mean, for me, man, that's a lot of old, like musty wood is what that profile is to me. If I was drinking that now, thinking about it, that's like an old, nasty piece of wood that's had some oak, or that's had some whiskey in contact with it. Very different, unique. I'm glad I got to try it. Thanks, Troy. Appreciate you sending that to me. Very, very different and unique. So, but yeah, glad I really got to try that. So, what's Steve say? Floral. I could see where you get some of that floral. There is that softness. Originally, I was describing it as kind of like this doughiness. That's probably where I was like in my mind thinking a little bit of like that weeded profile. This is so different. And it was probably, I could see where you could pick up some of that floral note that's on that. So, but very, very different and unique. I'm glad I got to try it. Obviously, I will never be able to try this one. I think this was one of the barrel picks that they did down there in Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. So, what else we got here? Yeah, JG, I think the blackened was either Willett and or a Willett blend or finished in a Willett barrel, something along those lines. I know there was a Willett component because they had Willett actually on the bottle. So I think, if I wasn't mistaken, I think it was rye that was finished in a Willett like bourbon barrel, I think, but somebody will correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So, all right, what else do I have here? Let me see one thing here real quick. Oh, what do we got here? Okay. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, I don't even remember even of some of the other Willets I've had before having something that's this different. It's literally been years since I think I've had anything from Willett. And the last thing I had from Willett probably would have been their ryes, that kind of green top rye, which I'm not a huge fan of, a little bit too heavy on the dill for me, but so yeah, I don't really gravitate towards a lot of Willett products for the most part. So, okay, what do we have here? So Blackened X was Willett cast strength rye whiskey. So what was it? Willett rye? Then I'm assuming is what that was. I'm guessing it probably wasn't overly aged. Probably the same stuff they stick in that green, with that green cap or whatever on it. Probably stuck it in a blackened bottle and sold it for 2 or 3 times the price. So, which is not uncommon. A lot of people do some different and unique. I shouldn't say unique, but just take what we know is a certain whiskey, put it in a different bottle, and upcharge the heck out of it. So, yeah, very different. It's very like that musty oak, almost. It's almost like being in the forest or woods and being in an area where there's a lot of that, like really a lot of fallen leaves and maybe even some like rotted out wood. It's wet, all of that. That's like in my mind, like where this whiskey has taken me. So even if I'm not a huge fan of the profile of it, it sure takes you on a heck of a ride with the flavor profile. It gets you thinking, that's for sure. So, well, there's some of those. I mean, we all know some of that stuff, Ethan. If you do different things with your whiskeys and all of that, I can appreciate that and the expense of whiskeys and those processes. But, for some of these things where they're not, don't have a lot of age and you just take it and stick it in a different bottle. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, I know someone said Blue Run before, but yeah, it's kind of where we are with a lot of, I mean, for people trying to create brands and do all these things, well, that's kind of what you get. Man, as different and unique as that is, I kind of want to keep sipping on it for some reason. All right, what do you got here, Troy? I get that on the Elijah Craig 18. I call it Swampwood. Yeah, I could see after Katrina 20-foot. Yeah, that was probably a bunch of nasty stuff. I don't think I'd want anything like that, but yeah, this is kind of exactly that swampwood or like rotting leaves and forest and wet, all that stuff. So very symmetrical setup. Yeah, I got to get my new lights on some of these things. I had ones that went under here, but they were all battery operated and they just killed batteries. So I've got to figure out an LED setup that's going to work a little bit better so I can get back to doing the reviews that were looking good and the live streams. I don't have to have the stupid overhead light on, and I don't know, right now it's not the greatest setup. I can deal with it. It is what it is, but I want to get back to doing a few more of the original reviews where I was able to kind of be locked in. It looked a hell of a lot better than it does now. So yeah, almost, I guess you could say almost that mildew. It's just a lot of things we've just described are not a lot of things I think people would overly enjoy tasting like in a whiskey, but it just gives you a little bit of that sense of things. So what else we got here? So what else is coming up here? I've tasted some of the, so let's see, I went through the Wild Turkey 12, did the goat. Has anyone had this bottle yet? This is the new Sagamore. This is their sherry finished bourbon. I think it's in addition. I know it's at the distillery, I believe now, and I think it's gonna somehow be distributed also. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is also something that is going to get distributed. But I believe if you're in the Maryland area, you can go to the distillery and find that. But one of the things, I don't want to give away the whole review, but one of the things I would say this reminded me of was, do you remember those like red, like candied apples where you had that apple cinnamon, that real intense kind of fall, I think my mom used to put them on something, I believe. And once in a while we would sneak them because they were nice and sweet and kind of a lot of like cinnamon notes and kind of very, very whatever that apple was they were soaking in. But that was one of the things that really reminded me of. It was a fantastic, something absolutely fantastic, sweet. It reminded me of fall. And the one thing I appreciate about this sherry finish rye was, even as you guys can see, even as dark as that is, it never allowed for the sherry to overshadow the rye whiskey. And again, you're only talking about 4-year-old rye, still some sourced MGP that they finished in, this is PX sherry. And so you get, again, a little bit more of the sweetness versus like an Oloroso. So that's kind of nice. I think that made a big difference versus it being Oloroso. I think it had a little extra sweetness to it. But man, that fall candied apple thing, whatever that was, it was really, really fantastic. Really fantastic pour. So, no, this is not their own juice. It does indicate as distilled in Indiana. So I don't think they're quite using their own for that yet, Ethan, but I'm sure before much longer, they'll be doing a lot of that. Any thoughts on 3-chord? I've had a couple things of theirs, and I guess I wouldn't say I have anything bad to say about it. There's nothing that makes me think I want to, go out and buy any. The one I would say that probably sticks in my mind as the best one was the one that it was like the gold edition or something along those lines. You might know what I'm talking about if you're a 3-chord fan. So so they did the 12-year. That was a very small release. I did have a sample of it and thought it was pretty good. So had no issues with that at all. But the one I remember being a pretty solid pour was the gold one. Whatever that was, I forget what the name of that one was, but it was a nice whiskey. So Oh boy, Ritter, they'll let anybody in this thing, won't they? Cheers from vacation. You must be like at some Disney World or something. You don't take any vacations that don't involve the kids, that's for sure. So you gotta be at some, yeah, the 15 year, I think was that small, that maybe small bottle. I don't know if they were like 375s or what they were, but it was a smallish release. I remember that being pretty solid. So I had the rye, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a nice pour, especially for it being kind of young and their own stuff. I think they're about ready to do some cool things. We had originally reached out to them about doing a barrel pick, but they didn't have that available yet. So maybe down the road we'll be able to get one. So. Yeah, I know some of the 3 quart. I believe there's some of it was Dickel, some of it either was blended with other things as well. I don't think they were all straight Dickel. So I think especially when you got into that like gold bar or whatever 10-year one or some 12-year, I think it was. That was pretty good. It might have had some Dickel in it blended, but I don't recall. It's been a while since I've had it. So. Oh, you did? Okay, so they did do so maybe I should reach back out and see if that's something they'd be willing to do. There was one they had that was super expensive. It was like over $250, and it was all sourced Dickel, and we passed on that. We didn't really have any interest in that. So yeah, that's exactly what 12 bar reserve. Yep. Thanks, CPA. And I thought that was pretty solid. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was not. Yeah, no, I know he's. I mean, he's married to, I think, Pat Benatar, I believe, is who Neil Gerardo is married to. So I think it was Pat Benatar, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so I think Jason's going to pop on here in a couple minutes, and we'll do our barrel pick. So appreciate everybody kind of sticking out. If you guys are interested in a live barrel pick, then stick around with us. We'll do that for a little while. We'll try to these I'm actually really excited to kind of give a try to. So I mean, not that often are you finding 10-year-old, 10-year plus MGP Rye. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were those days where the Smooth Ambler ones were, I think, shifted all to Dickel, but they had a pretty good indication of what they had going on, and that was all like labeled in red, I believe, was all the Dickel stuff. So any, I think it even said distilled in Tennessee or something in red. But what else we got here? Yeah, Heaven's Door, I would say, is another one. I've had stuff from theirs like early on, but never really did a lot for me. But again, to each their own. If you like it, that's the most important thing. So yeah, I thought it was Pat Benatar. Man, 40 years. Jeez, that's awesome. What else we got here? Yeah, Ethan, I thought I thought a lot of when they switched over to the Tennessee distillate that it was labeled in red, I believe. So all right, what else we got here? So yeah, I guess so. Since we're kind of talking about bottles that people are enjoying, what's everybody kind of on the hunt for these days? Anything that you're looking for in particular? Maybe outside of some of the highly allocated ones. I mean, I think a lot of us would like to get some of those, but one that I'm actually excited to get that I haven't gotten yet, and I need to go over to one of my local-ish kind of stores that get some of the Remus picks. I'm looking forward to just trying at least the new one. I mean, I kind of like what they what they do with a lot of the Remus. I know it's less age than it was coming up on some of the other ones. And, you know, so some of those will be cool. So, all right, I'm going to bring on Robin to my Batman. So
I'm Robin.
Oh, you are Robin tonight. Hey, this is my stream. You are Robin.
Oh yeah, all right. I'm Robin. I'll wear some.
Hey, where's your Maverick shirt? Come on, let's go.
I didn't know you were in the Iceman. You don't tell me these things. Jesus Christ! You gotta tell me this shit.
I forgot I was supposed to give you my wardrobe selections.
Yeah, I mean wardrobe selection. It would have been nice. We could have been Iceman, Maverick. What the fuck?
I know. Next time.
Then we're in Sweetwater, which is a music store.
So you are, yeah. That's the is that the brewery over by you, or am I thinking?
No,
of something
it's the music instrument store, New Sweetwater.
Oh,
one of my patrons, Shelby Strunk, sent this to me because he works there.
Oh, all right, that's kind of cool. Well, hopefully you got a discount on your drum set through them.
I didn't get it through them. So yeah.
Oh man. So
hey, what's up, Pop Don't Watching? You're right back at you sexy son of a bitch.
Yeah. So what's up with you on a Tuesday evening? I know this isn't normally what you're doing, but
well, this is normal. This is content night for me. So Tuesday nights are generally when I film my upcoming videos for the week, and set up my stuff for my live stream tomorrow. But I just had the Bourbon Hunters just came by my house, and we just recorded a podcast.
Oh,
and, I'm going from that right to this, and then when we're done here, I'm going to record some videos. It doesn't stop at the mash and drum, baby.
No, it doesn't. I know you're always hustling with that stuff. So I was saying earlier on, man, COVID set me back about a month, but I feel good. I'm kind of back at it, and I can finally taste some things. So I'm interested to kind of get into some of these things. So we don't have to.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by these. Did you give kind of a background? I mean, tell me. I mean, I don't even know really what this shit is. So tell me. It says Hughes Brothers Distillers.
Yeah.
Belle of Bedford Straight Rye Whiskey, and these are like 10 years old.
They are. So this is going back. So the person who kind of owns Hughes Brothers, this again is an older brand that's kind of been re-brought back. They're labeling on their bottles, if anybody sees or pulls up a Hughes Brothers logo, it's very old school. It's like a little eclectic or something along those lines. So they brought the brand back, and I guess it's Hughes Brothers, but this is the Belle of Bedford, the straight rye whiskey. Again, this is all going to be barrel proof, 10-year plus cask strength rye whiskey, and these are all barrels that basically, in talking with them, I would say they haven't done the greatest job of getting the name and the whiskey out there. He's had so many of these rye whiskeys just sitting wherever it is he's got these things sitting. They've just been aging over the years, and he wants to start doing some more stuff. Well, long story short, which I partially have already told the long story, but so I got this information actually from Bob at Foregate, who knows them, and kind of put a little bit of a word in for us in order to kind of do a pick with them, because right now they're just sitting on these barrels. They're really not doing a lot with these. So I figured if nothing else, this will be cool. I wasn't really aware that we were going to get 10+ year old MGP Rye, which
Ben Hernandez in the chat said it right. He goes, "Oh, no names. Last time that happens, we got the Barrel Kings."
Yeah, and like I was mentioning before, I mean, this is part of a little bit of what it is that we do. We do kind of sometimes luck into things or find some different things, and maybe we'll.
We're always on the lookout for shit, but we might luck out with this. And Belle of Bedford, I did recognize when I was doing the research for the old style Maryland ryes.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think Belle of Bedford was a Maryland rye, but when you're talking about like old rye whiskey labels, Belle and Bedford was one of them.
Yeah, it is an old label, and I know he's wanted to kind of bring this thing back and see.
I'm guessing this is MGP Rye. Correct.
This is all MGP Rye, which I guess at the end of the day, man, I don't think there's a lot of this stuff floating around, especially cast strength stuff. I mean,
well, Nashville Barrel Company has them all.
well, they do have, yeah, that's correct. They just released, I think, just recently a 10-year distillery only rye, which I think just turned 10 for them. So anyway, it'll be interesting. So
yeah,
all right.
I'm just gonna pour these in proof order.
Okay, all right, you're gonna go in proof order. Okay,
yeah, I'm proof order here. So the first one is 108.46. Second one is 109.57.
Okay.
Third one is 111.9.
Okay.
And last one is 112.4. So
all right. So the first one you poured was, I think, that little short one. I think
it was a shorty.
Yeah, I think this was kind of a shorter barrel, which probably means we'll have to.
Which means we're gonna fucking pick it because we like.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I was really intrigued, and he's like, oh, I think I've got some ryes kind of sitting around that you guys would enjoy, and I didn't know that it was going to be any of this. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting into these. So
what's going on, chat? How's everybody doing? You got Scott? You watch my single Rickhouse review yet?
I started watching it, and then I started getting.
You fell asleep.
No, I started getting yelled at by more people I work with, and that kind of put the kibosh on that. And I didn't go back to it. So thanks for bringing up a shitty part of my day. I appreciate that.
Oh,
so
sorry about that, Iceman.
I was about ready to have a good time and watch the video, because I know you and I had talked a little bit about it prior to, and I wanted to see. But
I broke down the shit out of that bottle. I mean, all in all, it's a great Russell's Reserve. But I'm just starting to see this. I'll talk about this a little bit tomorrow night on my channel, because I'm gonna crack open the Master's Keep and the 12-year tomorrow on the live stream before I get into the Franken blends for Blendageddon to kind of kick Blendageddon off. But I don't know. I feel like Campari. It's not so much a turkey thing, but I think Campari is starting to, and like a lot of distilleries, they're trying to make some money off like more of the marketing bottles than what they used to be. So like if you go back to the Master's Keep 1, which is a toasted product, it was also a younger whiskey. It's probably one of the younger Master's Keeps they ever put out. Yeah. But they were charging $175 because it was toasted. Yeah. And now you have the single Rickhouse, which is a decommissioned warehouse now. The whole story behind it, $250. And I just had a little bit more tonight, and as good as it is, I mean, it's a really good bourbon. But I just feel like if you do your due diligence and someone that picks really good Russell's picks like us, you could find something. You could find something that gets pretty close to that.
That's where I struggle with a lot of these, like, quote unquote special releases, is that all of these, and again, I could maybe buy into that a little bit. Turkey, rightfully so, they do put out some good things, but man, when you get into that $250 price point, it's like, man, I feel like we start to get a little bit picky in terms of what it is. You really want that thing to kind of. And
what I've realized is that the average consumer doesn't really think of it like we think of it. They just think of it as it's limited, it's wild turkey. Like, I want it. It's it's interesting just how that works sometimes.
Is that what the MSRP on that Rickhouse bottle is? $250.
MSRP is $250. Yeah.
Boy, so I mean,
pretty crazy when you think about it, because Master's Keeps are $175 to $200.
I was gonna say because then that's like that. Then at MSRP, that's probably their most expensive bottle they've released. Then I suppose.
Yeah, $250. Yeah, I mean, well, other than the Russell, no, actually the Russell's Reserve. What do you call them? The ones in the wooden boxes, like the special Russell's Reserves that have come out. Yeah. Those I think have been the most expensive.
They have. Okay. Was that like one of those, like a father and son one, or is that what you're?
No. I'll show you actually here. Hold on.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this has probably a big influence from Campari. I mean, I'm sure they're getting involved a little bit more, rightfully so. We all understand whiskey's more expensive, and they're probably going to try to get a piece of that market, and it is what it is. I guess I don't blame them, but Yeah, Adam, let me know what you think of that new
Like these,
Yellowstone LE.
2003s.
Oh yeah, those Russells. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, these usually come in about $400 or $500, I think, usually.
That sucker was dark too.
Dude, and you know what? This is the low entry proof one that they released. It's only 89.5 proof. And look how friggin' dark that sumbitch is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's barrel proof too, right?
It's barrel proof and it's 16 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What's up, Dusty?
Dusty.
All right. So what do you say? What do you say we dive into these and we'll see what we're up against on some of these.
Let's see if we can get another gem here. Let's see what we
yeah,
got.
I'm hoping so.
All right, so here's the short barrel, which should win right away. Here we go.
Yeah. Jesus, I think it was Adam or somebody was asking before, like, when's the short barrel club coming?
Yeah. We could totally do a short barrel club.
Yeah, we do. We get a fair amount of short barrels. So, oh man, I would say it's a nice nose without it being like really super intense. I mean, 108 proof.
This definitely gears towards more of the sweeter ryes.
Yeah, and I don't know. Actually, let me see if he says on anything. I've got to imagine these are all 95.5.
Todd Ritter, I have no problem with the price of this decommissioned Rickhouse version, but will the price come down on these other Rickhouse selects that aren't decommissioned? Probably not. And that was my concern, that these would become like Colonel Taylor like releases where they do a Tornado Survivor or a Warehouse C or Colonel Taylor's Underpants aged bullshit where everything becomes just a different sticker with a different color on it, and you're going to end up paying out the ass to get one. I just hope that's not where it's going. I said in the review, my idea is like drop those things to 375s, like the Whiskey Barons collection, make it $100 so more people could try it.
I think that's probably a good idea when it comes to some of these things. I mean, they can still probably make their money, and people still, like you said, double the amount theoretically people can get it.
I'm saying, man, just like whiskey for the people, like just do it.
And again, like you said before, like where do you go with this? I mean, if they're going to now start with all the stories, like what do you come up with?
Like a decommissioned warehouse is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, well,
what's going to be next?
But you're leading off with something that's probably not going to happen next time. They're not just going to tear down another, Rickhouse because they want to release, a bunch of bottles,
Yeah.
Oh man, that's kind of nice as it opens up, but
oh damn. That has like this has like this orangey, licoricey.
I was just gonna say there's a little bit of a licorice note without it being like overdone.
Yeah, without being like that fake licorice like note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's got even for a low proof, it brings a lot of spice and heat to it. A nice little Indiana hug, I'll call it.
It does. It's got a nice little finish. It does have a nice like orange zest. I wouldn't say it's like overly orange. It's probably a little bit of the zest where you got some of the white part in there as well, not overly orange, but man, overall pretty nice.
It is pretty it's pretty viscous, I would say.
Yeah, and it's easy to drink though too. And I mean, honestly, that is a good proof. I mean, almost 109 proof. It's a nice proof. So
I think even though it's a short barrel, I think it's got more of a rye influence. I'm looking for some more balance in it, a little bit more sweet to go with that spice. It's coming off more as a real like heavy rye to me.
Yeah, and one thing I would say is there's probably on the mid palate, like when you're getting ready to swallow or it sits on your tongue.
I gotta say though, yeah, it's viscous, man. It just sits.
It is, but I think there's still a little bit of a flatness to it. Like there's something.
Yeah, I agree.
It's velvety, but I think those components are there. But you just want a little bit more from it,
Yeah, and I do think it's a little bit drying on the back end. I was talking to Bo Garrett, you know, the legendary, because he kind of helped me with that review, kind of talking through some of the Wild Turkey. But if you guys don't know Bo Garrett, he's a guitarist for Montgomery Gentry, or formerly Montgomery Gentry. He's now a pretty much a legendary. He's a brand ambassador and also a tour guide over at Wild Turkey these days. And I kind of texted him and I kind of asked him like what some of the history was on that Rick House. It was originally part of the Seagram's distillery. They partly owned it with Wild Turkey, which was interesting to find out. He said, "Great job." I shared the pricing concerns that are scaring him as well. He said, "I got sticker shock when I saw it. I had that conversation with Eddie Russell. I was like, what are they going to charge for the next Masters Keep?"
Yeah.
He said, "Campari really doesn't understand bourbon lovers." He said, "We had a dinner with the #2 guy at Campari last week. He asked me what we did there for our bartender friends. And he says, I told him we don't see them. They don't buy bottles."
And that's a really good point. That right there, what you just described is a major disconnect from a brand owner to the people who are making the whiskey. They're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Like Campari does not understand anything about what it is Wild Turkey's doing. They're just whiskey sellers.
Well, yeah, honestly, though, in a way, I think they understand the whiskey. You could go on the other end and say that they understand the bourbon market completely. They understand that if they put out something rare, that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to buy it at a high price. And they don't really, now they may focus on bartenders, but I think the word is out with Campari that they know if they, because we saw it with the toast, with the one. Now we're seeing it with the single Rick House. They know if they put out something with more of a marketing spin on it at a high price, that people, Wild Turkey now has gotten popular enough that people are going to buy it. So,
yeah, I guess I can see that side of it too. It's just, man, it's one of the scary things about where kind of like the bourbon world is going, is that it's like, man, everyone focuses so much on these high allocated, bourbons, that so many of these other really good ones.
I think distillers and the people on top of distilleries are getting cocky. That's where I think it's going. I think they're getting a little arrogant, just thinking that we're going to buy anything that they put in a bottle. And I think eventually that's going to come to bite them in the ass. I don't know when that's going to happen, but eventually it's going to happen. Because, I mean, I read the comments on my YouTube videos, and people are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of all these fucking releases every other week, and none of them are really that much better than shit you can find on the shelf. I think it's starting to click in, and distilleries better start fucking realizing what's happening. So
it seems like we've been saying that now for years, though.
No, but I mean, I think more than ever, though, I think there's been hints of it, but I think now more than ever, I think the waiting online, everyone's just kind of getting. I thought it was really happening starting last year, where I felt like people were starting to really get sick of it. And I feel like the people that are waiting online now that I see are more in line for like picks and something unique, rather than like the normal allocated bottles that people used to wait in line for a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I could see that. It's, and I guess that's the other thing with the popularity. One thing that we probably don't think of is how many new people are constantly coming into this game. So you got people.
You still have new people that are chasing all the Buffalo Trace bottles.
All of it, like all of this stuff. So when we were all kind of getting into it, it was kind of the same thing. We wanted everything. Now it's probably still no different. It's just, it's more expensive for these people now.
I think Top Shelf Dustin puts a good spin on it. Why should distilleries try and keep loyal fans? They can make money right now. And I think that's what it's about.
Probably.
And I agree. If I was a distillery right now, I'd be putting every fucking limited edition I can out. But, I know it from the outside, from being a consumer, that I could see through all that bullshit. But not enough people can, because there's so many new people coming into the game that they don't realize, the value from what they're putting out now to what's available these days.
Yeah.
So
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
Yep. All right.
That's got a little bit more on it. I still like
a little bit more sweetness.
Yeah, and I still like the idea that you are getting some like rye influence.
It's a rye. It's going to have more rye influence. I'm just looking,
but I think, but on the nose, I think it smells like it's a rye that's got some age to it.
Ooh, on the palate, That one's nice. That has a little bit of like a spearmint, juicy fruit gum like mixture thing going on.
Man, it's a very. I would agree, man. That the finish.
That's like if you took a stick of juicy fruit gum, then you took a stick of spearmint gum, put it together, and ate it. That's what I'm getting. Like some fruit, and I'm getting some all that mintiness.
I would agree 100%. There's that nice candied aspect to it. Nice oak that's there. Nice spice. I like the spice without it being like overly spicy. Like it's very drinkable. You know,
no dill.
Sweet. And I still think there's a little.
I'm trying to donate a tank bottle of Forgate.
Nice.
Rob D, it's the mash and drum at gmail.com. It's pretty simple.
What's your email?
Yeah.
You're trying to donate a bottle of Forgate. Holy moly, that's nice. Oh, for what do you have something coming up where you're doing something like that? Jeez.
Oh, I don't know why he's donating it. Maybe for maybe he's going to donate it for the end of year St. Jude fundraiser.
Oh, well, geez. All right. Well, that'll do well. Yeah, that's really nice. Finish is nice on it. I still think you do get some of that. That definitely that spearmint note is there. Nice finish on it. Nice sweet oak that's there. It tastes like it's got some age to it without it being like dry or over oaked. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the perfect. It's got enough fruitiness to kind of make it stand out. Good rye spice. It's not drying. It's got the pepper to it. That's a nice rye, man. 10 years old.
Man, that's oilier than hell, man. That is really oily. Yeah, this one is. Let's see. What do we got here? So this is sampled. So it says barrel.
God, I'm so sick of the fucking things about Aaron Judge. All right. He hit 62. Why does it matter? Fucking Barry Bonds and everybody else beat him. Gives a shit.
Well, the thing is, they look at Barry Bonds with an asterisk. They don't even look at that as the real record. That's why they're doing. They're almost discrediting that, to be honest.
I know, but that's bullshit.
You know, well,
I don't care how much steroids you're on, you still got to fucking hit the ball.
Well, you do.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I get the steroids part of it, but enough with Aaron Judge. It probably just pisses me off because he's a fucking Yankee.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like if Brady Anderson can hit 50 home runs all jacked up, it's like, I get you still have to hit the ball, but clearly
I can't really talk about baseball right now. My fucking Mets have blown. My Mets blew it over the weekend.
Yeah,
all they had to do is win one fucking game.
At least you're going to the playoffs. Stop your complaining.
That's true.
We got our ass beat.
One fucking game. Oh shit! The Miami Marlins have bases loaded but 2 outs. Hopefully they score and tie it. Let's see what happens.
I guess there's a big difference because you're either a wild card or a division winner. That's a big difference.
Yeah, but with the rule changes, it is because now we can't really set up our pitching. Now we're gonna have to play San Diego, and then if we beat San Diego, we got to play the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's a whole different thing. Now we have to set up like Scherzer and DeGrom to play San Diego, and then what does that look like if we pass San Diego? What does that look like against the Dodgers in the last? The Braves were just, they were just fucking so hot, and they've been so hot the entire second half. It's like. But you know what? The Mets had it in hand. They played like shit in the second half. They went like 13-18 against like bottom of the barrel teams in the NL. So they fucking dug their own grave. It's the Mets.
This what you get when you get into your dog days right here.
This is what the Mets do. I'm just saying. Even though Atlanta was playing out of their fucking mind, this is what the Mets do. So.
Well, yeah, you knew it. You don't want to accept it. You knew it'd probably happen, but
yeah. Oh, dude, number 3.
Yeah, it really.
Number two smelled good, but number 3, damn.
Yeah, I would say they've gradually started to kind of ramp up.
They're getting better.
What's up, Bill? How's it going, bud?
What's up, Whiskey Dick?
Oh yeah, the nose on this
one. Number 3 smells
much nicer, like spice on it, nice wood on it.
It smells decadent. Steve Sajnock says, "Does anyone drink Dickel?" Steve, I am a proud Dickel drinker.
There's a help group for him, so Steve, don't worry about it.
Dude. Anything for me above 100 proof or higher for me for Dickel and high age. anything below 100 proof, low age, I don't really touch that. It gets too much in that minerality. But if you get 100 proof or higher and a good age on Dickel, I think there's some really delicious variants out there. Like those George Dickel 15-year single barrel picks that are under over 100 proof can be absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
I don't care what everyone says. Braves got out of the inning. Said thanks, Blind Squirrel. Fuck you and your Braves. I love you, man.
Yeah, looks like I got the bitter mash and drum today.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Mets are winning their 2 games, but the Braves are not losing 3 games to the Marlins. I'm sorry.
Adam, go Rays.
Man, there is such sweetness to this on the nose on number 3.
There really is. It's a great spice. The finish is really nice and spicy without it being overdone. It all just has this real nice like richness that you can appreciate from a whiskey that's got the age.
Hashtag suck it. I love it, Blind Squirrel. Nice. You're the man.
So,
by the way, Blind Squirrel, Scott, did you taste our Woodinville picks yet?
I only had one of them tonight, a little bit of it.
Which one did you have?
I had the 114.08.
No, what's the barrel number?
7334.
Dude, that was the Cherry Garcia barrel. How good is that?
It's very good. The one thing, after I've not had it for a while, the one thing I always appreciate about it is you still have a little bit of that craftiness to it, which I appreciate, you know.
Oh, for sure. There's always going to be a little bit of that craftiness. Rob Zill says, hey, Jason, what do you think about Blue Run? I'm not raising my blood pressure.
Hey, guys, don't get him all worked up.
Get me all riled up, guys. Come on.
Jesus. Don't ask him about Dickel. Don't ask him about Blue Run, and don't insult the Mets.
I don't mind. I like Dickel. That doesn't get me fired up.
Oh yeah, well, okay, that's true.
Blue Run gets me fired up. Anything Blanton's gets me fired up.
Blue Note 17 was really good. That was way up for me.
Blue Note 17 was fucking amazing.
Dickel sipper.
I had the Penelope barrel strength, and it was pretty good. Says Steve. Yeah, I mean those have a lot of variance to them depending on the batch. So some are better than others. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The mash and drum, the butterflies are pretty at least. Yeah, they're fucking pretty, but whatever. They're did you hear Scott? They're building a distillery.
Yeah.
Blue Run.
Yeah, I know that's
now it's just gonna be like you're gonna go in the courtyard where you wait for your overpriced bottles, and it's gonna be all these glittery butterflies everywhere.
Well, I would imagine probably at the distillery. I mean, how do you not have butterfly shit all over everything?
It's gonna be everywhere. You're gonna have butterfly hats, butterfly shirts.
It's going to be the new butterfly effect.
The marketing is going to be insane. They're going to have butterflies that spell butterfly like Bland's, but there's way more.
You think they'll have a butterfly garden?
There's definitely going to be a butterfly, one of those butterfly like domes where you go in, you just walk around and see all the butterflies like hit you in the face. Every 10 feet you get to try a sample of their overpriced 4-year bullshit.
I want to go there when you walk through the door. They give you a butterfly net and tell you to just like walk out back and run through the field.
My photo is going to be hanging. They're not even letting me in there.
Probably not. All right, what do you think of 3? 3's nice. 3's a really nice.
I think so far 3 is my favorite. I love the sweet. I love the balance. I love the spice. A little bit of everything.
And that one. So if I look at this correctly, this says distilled March of 2012. And this was sampled. This says obviously September 2022. So that makes this 10 years, 6 months, right?
Yeah, 10 years, 6 months. That's nice.
It's really nice.
Really nice rye whiskey.
They're very, very easy to drink. Nice flavor. It's one of those whiskeys, I would say, that is you don't have to think a lot about it. It's very, very delicious. But you don't have to think about it a lot.
The bourbon wrench in the house. Sorry for being late. Glad to be here supporting a couple amazing channels who truly support and love the community. Look at him being all sweet. Is he drinking?
I was wondering. I'm like, did someone take over his account? Because this is like a nice guy typing right now. This isn't the douchey guy that we all know. So
Trev, I miss you.
There's not even like a sugget or anything at the end of that. Just all niceness right there.
Yeah, Adam and Todd Blend Again is starting tomorrow with the Frankenstein blends. The Frankenstein blends are just going to be me doing it. I'm not involving other judges quite yet until we start the American whiskey blends. But yeah, the Frankensteins will start tomorrow. We'll see. We can do one round of Frankensteins this week, another round next week. We might do the finals next week because there's not a ton of them. And then we'll see who wins that category. It should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I know people always enjoy doing that. And
the Bourbon Rent says not drunk, just speaking the truth. Also, I'm drinking. Go Braves. Yeah, that sounds like my buddy Trey.
Now we're no longer a account that looks like it's been hacked.
All right, last one here. Ooh, so this gets into more of a dark.
I would agree. I think they've just ramped up much more. Just this is a little more earthy,
dark,
but nice sweet. There's a nice sweetness that's there to all of them, though.
All of them have a nice sweetness, but this gets into more of like a burnt caramel type.
I can see that.
Yep.
I mean, the nose for sure does not come across, I would say, like it would be a 95.5. Like you wouldn't think that on this.
Oh, man, the palate, unfortunately, on that one doesn't do it for me. It's a little bit flat.
Yeah.
It's the highest proof too. So, but man, this finishes a little bit flat.
Yeah, the spice factor is not like it was on 3. If this had the spice of 3, that'd be like incredible.
Yeah, if I want a rye, I want a rye. Like that just doesn't. That's not bringing it. That sips like a really low proof rye whiskey.
Yeah, it really does. That's interesting. Considering.
I mean, I think, man, 3 right now is kind of. But I mean, you want to eliminate 4 real quick, just because it's just not standing up.
I mean, honestly, you could almost eliminate. Well, maybe we'll give 1 a shot again. I want to pour maybe a little more.
Give 1 a shot. I think 1 is the most rye forward out of all 3. So I think Whiskey Dictionary asks what we're drinking. So Scott and I are trying to pick out a single barrel of Hughes Brothers Distillers, who is bringing back an old label, the Belle of Bedford.
Yeah.
So this is 10-year plus rye whiskey. So.
All right, I'm going to pour a little more of 3. I think 3, I need a little more in there. Yeah, there's a nice, I would say overall, there's a really nice, like richness with all of them, you know. All right, which one are you on right now? Are you going back to 1 yet or no?
Yeah, I'm going to taste through them real quick. So, well, what were you talking about the first hour of your live stream? What were you doing?
I was just kind of tasting through some samples. I got so I tried the Wild Turkey 12, the 101, that kind of international release. I liked it. I think it was like an amped up regular 101 where it kind of took away some of the rough edges, like from normal, like Wild Turkey 101. Nice oak on it. So the oak really kind of ramped up on that one for sure. $150. Okay, I can see, where it's at. I guess I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's good. I actually tried it for the first time finally tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really dug it. I thought it had the perfect amount of oak, nice, really good flavors to it. I mean, I thought it was a little bit thin, but at the same time, I realized it's only 101 proof. It's not like it's like this, 115, proof. And I think it doesn't say non-chill filtered on it, right? I think it's chill.
No, I did. I was asking Kelsey if that was the case. I was asking if it didn't have that. But one other thing I got with it was, which I was saying, which I don't normally get with a lot of turkey stuff but I was getting this like caramel apple note to it. I don't know what that was, but it was kind of interesting to me how I was getting that. But then I went to this Willett Purple Top Single Barrel 9-year 134 proof. Willett distillate.
How was
And
that?
that was fucking funky.
Was it
It
funky?
was,
Well, I mean, the Willett stuff is kind of funky.
dude,
So
it's really funky. Like it was almost like swampwood. It was like if you were, it's like if you were walking in the woods and like all the leaves and wood and shit was like wet and mossy. It was like that's what the whiskey was finished in. It was fucking, it was funky and weird. It wasn't like I wasn't crazy about where I'd want to drink a lot of that, but I appreciated being able to try it. So I don't know. But that fuck, man, I don't know if I'd want to pay that kind of price for a Willett single barrel. I'm sure.
what was the price on that?
I don't know. I thought Troy said it was like $400 or $500.
Oh, fuck you, Willett. Fuck you.
I'm gonna have to get like a few of these things when there's like a few like buzzwords and stuff.
That's what I need to do now. I need to think like if I have something to say about Russell's Reserve being too high or Jim Beam being too high, I could always say, you know what? It's not Willett. Because Willett's a fucking bunch of assholes charging $600 and $700 for their purple top bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Why? Because you're some like high class sweater vest fucking wearing tennis playing bullshit like brand.
Hang on a second. I've got my heart rate monitor on you. It's going a little hard, so you got to settle down.
Sorry, I gotta slow down here. I just fucking Willett annoys the shit out of me because they just have hi, welcome to Willett. Would you like to buy our $700 purple top?
It's a lot of that. I mean, they're just the ramped up version of Buffalo Trace for the most part. I mean,
by the way, after you buy the $700 bottle of our weeded bourbon, you can go upstairs and buy a $35 tuna tartare.
Yeah,
assholes. Jesus Christ!
Hey, you're gonna get kicked out of Willett before long. You're not even gonna be allowed in Kentucky. So ease up, okay? Jesus, you're gonna be like on the. You're gonna be like on the.
I love 90% of everybody. You know this.
Yes. No, it's about 65% of them love you though.
Yeah. I think Blue Run is going to do a Willett finished bourbon, and that's going to be the greatest thing ever.
Oh man.
or Willett's going to finish something in Blue Run casks.
Jesus, that'll just put you like into major heart palpitation. So
yeah, I'll just be like son of a bitch, and they're going to charge you. The retail price is going to be $800.
Oh yeah, they've done all kinds of things. Well, I think that's what that blackened was. I think that was like 4-year-old Willett stuffed in a blackened bottle.
You know what? And I didn't mind that because you know what? That was a decent price. I thought it was pretty damn delicious. It wasn't bad. Listen, as long as you make it accessible for everyone, that's what I just hate how Willett has positioned himself as such a luxury brand, and their bourbon is it's okay.
It's almost a mystery. Like almost nobody gets a chance to try their bourbon. It's such a mystery brand because anything that's not Rowan's Creek or Noah's Mill or any of those, nobody else knows like what their bourbons taste like. They know what the rye, their 3 and 4-year-old, 2-year-old, they know what that is.
Listen, I had the pleasure of trying a 17-year-old Willett. I went to a tasting. Somebody brought it, and it was really delicious. I thought this was really great. But I mean, that's what I've always like kind of felt about Willett. Unless you're trying something that gets into like those ultra aged areas, it's not going to really be that exceptional. So I don't understand the lore and the fever for fucking Willett. Like Jesus Christ.
I think it's again, it's part of the rarity of it. Like the fact that it's not just flooding the market and people want what they can't get. I think it's as simple as that. It doesn't make it any better than anything else. But
I think you have a point. I think it's the rarity. It's like anything else. Just
think about it. Where do you ever go? Where do you ever go, even other people's houses or whatever, that have Willett bottles of bourbon? Not many. Not many people have it. You know?
Nobody really has Willett bottles. And Cameron, I think that probably was maybe MGP. Not really sure, but it could have been. Most likely it was.
All right, which one are you trying right now?
I'm going back to I'm just going back to
on
one, two,
Oh, okay.
and
All right.
3 here. Yeah.
Okay. Man, one is really nice and like fruity. There's that nice kind of orange candy to it.
Yeah, I'm going back to one, and it was really nice.
It's just soft though.
It's a little soft.
Oh man, it's fucking nice and sweet and good though.
Well, that's the thing about the really old MGPs. It's hard to like, you don't really know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And now that they're starting to put their own stuff out, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, does anybody really want ultra aged Willett pot still? I don't know.
I have no idea. I can't imagine that people want that, but
oh, check this out. I'm gonna do a video on this bourbon and show you what it is. Hold on.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think it might be. Tanner says nope.
Here, so check this out. This is
two's a nice.
This is Stag Junior Batch 1.
Oh, dude, it's fucking complete garbage.
Well, so that's what I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna do a video. I've never had this. The Bourbon Hunters, the podcast I was on.
Oh man,
he had a bottle of this, so he dropped this off, and I'm like, "Do you still have that Stag Junior Batch 1?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Drop it off and do a video on it," and I'm just gonna put it on the title. Is this really hot trash?
Yeah,
I really do want to try it. I've never had it, so
it'll be interesting. I had actually early on, I had all of them, and one of my bottle one was so bad it was like literally undrinkable. It was like drinking like gasoline. It was so heavy, like alcohol.
Did you drop any water in it? Did that help? Anything?
No, but it was early on, man. I mean, shit, bottle one came out in what, 2016, maybe? That was a while ago. So, but
JP says, any thoughts on the Bourbon Junkies whiskey announcement? JP, what was the announcement? I haven't been watching. What did they announce?
Whiskey now. Oh yeah, well, yeah. What the fuck did they announce?
Is it the fact they're coming out with their own label? Is that the announcement? Is that what they're doing? I have a pretty good feeling that's what they're doing. Yeah, JP, you put that in the chat. I don't know what they announced.
Dude, two is nice, man. 2 and 3, I think, are going to be the front runners. Robzilla, thanks, brother. Glad you're back, Scott. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. COVID did a number on my taste buds at this time last year. Cheers. Yeah, man, it was that's a scary thing. Like when people lose that sense of taste and smell, it's a bit scary, considering, not to make it sound like we're professionals or anything, but what we do, we rely on our nose and taste, and it's a bad deal if you don't have that shit. So,
oh yeah, their own label, Virtue Spirits. Yeah, I mean, I had talked with those guys about what they're doing. I will say I have something similar I might be working on, but I'm not sure what they're doing and when the release schedule is. But yeah, I think it's great for them. I think that's kind of the natural progression of channels these days.
Yeah,
is if you're doing videos, then you're doing single barrels. The next thing would be to kind of come out with your own label, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see. I think it's kind of I think it's great for them. I mean, they have a really big following. But me and Dan and Sean, we talk all the time how our palates are so different. So I'm sure what they have is going to be, great. And I'm, really happy for them. I mean, any time that you can come out with your own label, that's a big deal. So
yeah, it really is. I mean, it is kind of like the natural progression of kind of like where you go with some things. And
yeah,
I mean, I can see totally why they'd be wanting to do something like that. So
yep.
Was so young back in those days. What, he turned 50? It was just one of those things, Dustin. It was kind of, that was early on for me as well. And again, it wasn't that difficult to get then, but I lucked into it and got one. But man, oh man, it was, Jesus, not the greatest. Man, two's pretty nice. Let me go to Let me go to 3 again.
I think to me it's between 1 and 3.
Really? You think there's enough? You think there's enough on number 1 though? Hey,
There's more of a flavor punch in number 1. I don't think it's. I'm actually getting it. Go back to number 1. I'm getting banana on number 1, which is something I never get from a rye, and I just think it's really interesting. On the nose, not so much the palate, but on the nose, I'm getting like a hint of banana. Actually, when I first lifted it up to my nose, I'm like, oh shit! Like, why am I getting banana out of this? It's kind of interesting. We could call it banana cream rye.
It is nice. There's a sweetener, there's a softness and a velvety texture to 1.
I don't know, but I may look like I might like 3 just overall though. 3 has all
I would agree, man. I think 3 has the most going on as far as overall.
Braves, NL East champs. Fuck it. Whatever.
Jesus. There goes the heart. There goes the fucking heart rate monitor again.
Fucking Braves. Jesus Christ. They're so good. They're so good. It's annoying.
That's the one that, like you said, the biggest factor is not being able to set up your rotation.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to and the teams that the Mets have to go through now. But you know, it's not really the Braves. The Braves played really well in the second half, but the Mets had that big lead, and they didn't play well in the second half. There were times where they weren't hitting, they weren't scoring. And unfortunately, the Braves never went through that in the second half. They just kept winning games. It was ridiculous.
Well, and there's where you make up a lot of games. When you don't win very many games and the other team that you're competing against wins a lot of games, then that's a big move. Same thing that happened between the Brewers and Cardinals. They lost games, the Cardinals won, and they made huge run.
Yeah.
So
fucking Braves, and they're isn't that racially insensitive now? That shit should be gone from baseball. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're just going to be the Atlanta Raves.
They're going to be the Atlanta Guardians, like
the Guardians.
Yeah, you can't say anything Indians anymore. They're going to have to change their name. Watch.
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, they made the Indians change. I mean, I guess that's a little bit more.
It's a little bit more direct when you say Indians.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But I mean,
hey, what's up, Richie Z? What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? Just having some lunch. Home for lunch.
The Frankenstein blends tomorrow could be a little bit crazy. Because I think I'm gonna get a ton of weird shit that people put these blends.
The Atlanta baseball team.
I
love when like nobody can come up with another name and they just like they were the Washington football team. It's like nobody it was like the marketing department was put on the spot. Like, hey, can you guys come up with a name really quickly? And they just came up with how about the Washington football team?
That's the Washington football team. Yeah.
Jesus, how bad is that?
So 2 for me. It's velvety, but I don't think it has the flavor that 1 and 3 do. It's falling short against 1 and 3. I think I didn't think I would like 1 going back to, but I'm really liking 1.
Well, I mean, we can always ask them about price and bottle counts and all of that. I mean, I think, we can always see what it is. I mean, I guess we have to be prepared, if somehow we didn't do 2, like we have to be prepared to take 1, or we have one barrel. I mean, I think overall in terms of
what's your favorite going through the 3?
I think 3 is probably my favorite just in terms of like what it offers overall.
I'm with you, man. 3 I think is my favorite.
I mean, 3 is very good in terms of, I think, just a really nice, easy drinking. I mean, Christ, we're still talking about 10 years, 6 months, and this is probably still in a barrel. So it's just getting older. Like, I mean, hell, this thing, well, no, it won't be. It won't be 11 years old, but
number 3 is a little over 10 years as well. So.
I think 3 is the oldest one we've got. Actually,
that's really good for a rye whiskey.
3 and 4, but man, it's just it's very drinkable. I mean, that's one thing I like about it, and it's slightly different than I'll even say normal, like rye profiles. Like it drinks. It doesn't necessarily drink like a rye whiskey. I don't think
It doesn't. It's got this perfect balance of sweet and spice. It kind of drinks a little bit like a Thomas H. Handy, honestly. Because Thomas H. Handy, I don't think really drinks like a traditional rye whiskey. It's a little bit sweeter. I think that falls right. I think this falls right in that category. And this is 4 years, almost 5 years older than Handy.
Yeah, very true.
Handy's a fucking 6-year product.
I think what I like about this is the finish has that nice, like lingering, like spice and like orange, but with some spice, maybe even like a light black pepper, but it's a little touch of dryness, which I'm fine with. I mean, how do you get away from that with this kind of age?
Dustin, I agree. Handy is very off profile to a normal rye because it's a lot sweeter.
Yeah,
it's Buffalo Trace. It's not, it's not like a traditional 95.5 rye. It doesn't have all the spot like Handy. Handy to me is very sweet. It's got the one thing I could say that Handy has for a 6-year that you wouldn't get from a normal rye at 6 years old is like this super sweet oak profile. And I don't think there's been really aside from the Michter's fill your own bottle thing that we got.
Yeah.
With all that oak presence for such a younger rye, that's the only thing I could say that I could like definitely say like, wow, this I think is even better than a Thomas H. Handy.
Yeah, that thing we got was ridiculous. We got lucky to be there when we got that thing.
Yeah, it was like drinking fucking coffee. It was ridiculous.
Oh my god, it was such a that was such a great bottle. But man, I don't know. I mean, I mean 3. Honestly, I just want to keep drinking 3. It's so good.
It's so good, dude. That's really good rye whiskey, and it's what if we can. I mean, I'm starting to get like heavy cinnamon, some sweet caramel, like a tiniest hint of molasses on the back of the palate.
Yeah.
There's these really like intense sweet notes to go with that spice, and the spice is staying right here. It's not really moving its way down. It's not super like proof heavy. Man, that's a nice rye. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, very, very oily, pretty viscous.
The Mash and Drum blend 1 and 3. Okay, I'll blend that shit.
Oh, 1 and 3.
I like a good blend.
Are we done?
I'm gonna blend.
I'll let you do it. I'm just gonna crush 3.
We'll say 3. We'll say 3 is the winner here. Yeah. So that is the 111.9 number 3763. That's our winner.
And honestly, that's pretty, and maybe even slightly higher proof than a lot of older MGP ryes. A lot of them are down in that 104, 105, 106 range. So maybe this is slightly higher.
And it doesn't really drink that way, though. It's really nice. That is a really nice rye whiskey. It's like velvety. It's flavorful. That's nice.
There's a little fall aspect to it. There's no doubt about that.
I think the NBC. So people are asking. So William Wiley's asking, how does it compare to the Cherry Dr. Pepper? I think the Cherry Dr. Pepper was more of a unicorn than anything. I don't think this really gets into that realm. This is more of like this is a little more decadent. Like this is like rounded and softer, but like more velvety. Yeah. Good, great flavor profile, but just different beasts, I would say. So, dude, the blend is nice. I hate to say it. You did 1 and 3. Wow, that becomes more. It actually brought out some more viscosity to it. Kind of sticks on your palate. That's nice. 1 and 3.
I mean, one is soft, but it's got this sneaky finish, like rye kick to it with that nice orange.
Yeah. So Big Vic was asking, what's the next drop going to be? So I think the next drops will be the 2 Woodinvilles that we did. So those are pretty much ready to go. With Scott and I just have to get tasting notes down and get the page set up. After
no,
that,
no stickers, no stickers on these. Unfortunately, they won't.
yeah,
They
well,
won't go
Woodinville is
through.
kind of outlawed stickers, so no more. We would have liked to done like a Maverick Iceman #2. But
Could have done a rooster and a what was the other guy?
yeah, we could have done Maverick and Rooster. Would have been kind of
No,
cool.
no, not Maverick. What's the new new guy? Not Rooster, because Rooster was
Rooster is Goose's son.
correct. But who was the other like main guy? Who was the guy that came in and saved the day at the end?
Hangman.
Hangman, yeah, Rooster and Hangman.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, but Rooster still flew with Maverick. So
that's true. That's true.
How many Barrel King bottles are coming? So we have one more coming out, which is that's the one that we're gonna release with the cigars, which is the Stag Junior finish Barrel King.
And we're really only waiting on the cigar stuff to be ready. We'll do the like sticker packaging, whatever that may be. They've bottled it already. So Jared, they've bottled that stuff already to not let.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on the cigars to be done.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for them to do the blends, and then whenever we're able to do the sticker or packaging or whatever it is, we're gonna do.
You know what? I'll get that sticker done tomorrow. That won't take too long.
Yeah, I'll send something to Griff tomorrow and just kind of see what his ETA is.
Yeah, the Woodinvilles. Then we still have the 3 Peerless bottles that you guys selected. We have the Rebel and Ezra we selected. We have our Yellowstone we selected. The 2 Four Gates we selected. There's a lot coming. And then in the works, we have Barrel Craft Spirits we're picking next week. We have a Blue Note Juke Joint that we're going to be picking soon. We have a Scott and I are heading to Cedar Ridge to do something there.
Yeah.
In November, Scott and I are at some point we're going to head over to Iron Root, pick something there.
Yeah.
Man, shit, am I missing something?
Oh yeah, the turkey picks.
Oh yeah, the 3 turkey picks, 2 Kentucky Spirits and a Russell's, plus a Russell's special release that we split between 4 channels.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a cast strength Mizunara finished.
Oh yeah.
Japanese whiskey.
and the Westland.
And another Westland we have coming out. So shit. Other than that, there's not much going on, guys.
Other than that, it's pretty quiet on our side.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet on our end. I'm just saying.
So you guys can see like it's a lot of moving parts in the background. We're not
and Scott and I could tell you that the last like couple weeks, it's been pretty disappointing with the picks. We turned down a Wilderness Trail Rye this week.
Yeah.
Because the samples we got were nowhere near the Tom Sawyer's Mean Rye that we did last year. So we got some samples and they just tasted really young and they just weren't good. And so we turned that down. So
yeah, that was a bummer. That would have been a great one to get. But I mean, frankly, I'd really love to get a bourbon in the mix. I'd love, whether it's a wheated or a rye based bourbon. I mean, whatever it is, man, it would be nice to just get a bourbon in the mix. And I don't know, maybe we ultimately get down there in spring or something like that. I don't know, and go through a Rick or something again and do like we did last time. Because
I mean, I think that's the way to go, honestly. So
kind of seems like it, because I think we got stuck with some young whiskey this time. That's what it tasted like anyway. But so
Fashion Journey Antique Collection coming this fall. Yeah, I think we need to.
Antique collection.
The Four Gates may end up with an antique collection. And just so you guys know, whoever's watching, we're going to be doing Blenageddon coming up, in the next few weeks, and we're going to be donating some bottles for the St. Jude fundraiser on the last day of Blenageddon with ADHD Whiskey and Fred Minnick. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's nice that you guys use your platform to do those kinds of things, and rightfully so.
Yeah, we raised close to $20,000 last year. I mean, that was insane. So we're hoping to get more this year. We're kind of beating that goal. I have some really cool bottles in the mix that I'm saving up that are earmarked. Darrell Stewart is going to be donating some bottles. some other patrons are going to be donating some bottles as well. It's going to be, I think this year is going to be the best ever, honestly. So
yeah, that's good. It's important that you guys do those kinds of things. You got a big platform to be able to do those things, and that's awesome that you guys.
Scott, are you going to be my first judge on the first blend to get in round for the American whiskeys?
Yeah, I guess just let me know what.
All right, I'll send them to you, and we'll get ready.
Can't wait.
It'll be you. I think the first week I'm going to get you on, and possibly the bourbon judge. So we might get you twos on.
Oh, all right. Well,
yep.
Just let me know when you want the peated Scotch section. I'm happy to help out. Give you
I'll especially get you in on the Ardbeg blends. Yeah, that'll be
like, oh, this is dirty earth. Oh, this one tastes like more dirty earth.
Yep.
All right. So I guess the question is, do we know we want 3? Do we want to ask about the availability of 1? Is 1 worthy of you? I guess. Well, again, we can discuss.
I think it depends on if 3 has a decent bottle count, and we gotta see what the prices on these are.
Yeah.
Then we could go from there. So.
All right, we'll do that.
Let's figure out that first, because I don't want to. I know already the Nashville Barrel Company rye was really expensive. I don't want to kind of go down that road again. So if this is a little bit more of an affordable rye at 10 years plus, then I'd be willing to listen.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape with that one. So I'll send them something tomorrow and let them know what we chose, and then kind of what some of the pricing and all that stuff is from there. So
I heard that a lot of people are loving the goat and the Bambino.
I mean, I think so far, I know there was a few little shipping issues and stuff, but most of the people have cooperated pretty well and sent back what they didn't get, and their bottles will then get to the other people. But so far, it seems like people are really enjoying both of them. So,
hey, did you open that Sagamore Sherry finish?
Yeah, I did my review the other day, and
dude, how fucking good is that bottle?
It's so crushable. I think, like I said to Brian, I'm like, one thing I loved about it was the proof for this, I think is spot on. And the other thing that I liked about it was the sherry did not like overpower the rye. The rye,
yeah, I did not expect that much spice out of that bottle, and I fucking loved every minute of it. It's so
even with it not being like overly like aged rye, there's still something about whatever they had in the combo just worked very, very well together. I mean, that's a crushable like rye whiskey. And one of the things I said like early on was, do you remember those red apple slices? They were like candied apples.
Yeah.
That was what it reminded me. It reminded me of that with the cinnamon, and like it was just something like where you could sit around a fire like with it being cool. Like that's a great rye.
I love that. That's going to be in my top 10 ryes of the year.
It's a fantastic rye.
I did not expect it to be what it was. That if any of you guys see that Sagamore Sherry finished rye for $80, that's an immediate. If you like rye whiskey, that's an immediate buy. I
said it early on. I'm like, if you guys can find this. And one other thing I think makes a huge difference with this is the fact that it was PX and not Oloroso. It added a nice sweetness to it.
Yeah, totally.
It's a great. I mean, for what, $80? I mean, it's a great whiskey, period. So anyway, but all right, guys, I think that'll do it for tonight. You got a little dose of the HOCK for an hour and 15 minutes, and then you got a little mash and journey. You got the full gamut tonight. So good to be back. It's been 4 or 5 weeks since I've even done a live, so it was nice to get back. I'll start working on doing some kind of collabs with some people and see who we can get on the channel and do.
I'm glad you and Julie are doing better off of COVID, man.
Man, oh man, it was a little rough there for a while, but I think we're pretty much back to to normal now. So that's a good feeling. The losing the nosing and the tasting part of it is a little weird when you don't smell anything or don't taste anything very well. It's an odd feeling, but yeah. I think we're back at it now. So I think that's it. So you've got your stuff tomorrow night. You've got the beginning of Blend-A-Geddon. What else you got shaking? What do you got?
Tomorrow night we're going to be cracking open the Wild Turkey 12-year international release, and you're going to get my first impressions of the Master's Keep Unforgotten, the brand new one for 2022. And then we're going to dive right into the Frankenstein blends, the first round of Blend-A-Geddon, the kickoff. So yeah, it's going to be a fun night tomorrow night. So definitely tune in.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. So, all right, guys, and then I'm going to start working on doing a little more content here now that I got kind of my shit together a little bit. Feels good to be doing that. So I'll have a few more things coming up here pretty soon with some stuff. But appreciate everybody joining tonight. Thanks for sticking around with us for a couple hours, and I should be back next Tuesday with God only knows what. It'll be something fun, but. Tune in to Jason Mash and Drum tomorrow night. Like he said, he'll be doing some of the Blend-A-Geddon stuff beginning of that. So that's about it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next Tuesday. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.